Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood of Love is another expression of the many avenues love can take, and in this film we are shown the sadness and beauty of forbidden love, a love between two people that cannot be expressed, and thus they look into each other's eyes longing for the touch of their lips to meet, but instead must refrain because it is a love that cannot be actioned. This can be for many reasons, but for our two main characters, Chow and Li-Zhen, it is because they do not want to be like their partners who are having an affair.
咪行街見到你老婆咯，
有乜唔出奇啫？
出奇咪出奇，不過好似同埋一個男人一齊。
These two are good people that are put in a circumstance that no one wants to be in. Chow's wife is having an affair with Li-Zhen's husband, and to make matters more complicated, they are neighbours that moved in at the same time. But what takes place after they find out about the affair is to try and understand why the people they love the most would act out to hurt them. So Chow and Li-Zhen begin to meet up. Chow acts like Li-Zhen's husband, and Li-Zhen acts like Chow's wife, so they can begin to delve deeper on how the two fell for each other.
不如今晚唔好翻屋企啦。
我老公唔會咁樣講嘅。
But they make a promise not to be like them in the sense that they will never get too close where they themselves also have an affair.
我哋唔會好似佢哋咁嘅。
However, as time goes on and the more Chow and Li-Zhen meet, they become more intimate. Not in a physical way, but more where being around each other, sometimes not even talking, is enough for them to feel content, to feel safe and happy. But unfortunately for Chow, he does fall in love with Li-Zhen and understands that she will never leave her husband for him.
我知你唔會離開你老公。
Thus, they are in love but cannot be together, they are in love but cannot express it, and they are in love but become what they despised. A world that seemed to coexist before they even met, symbolised when they both moved in at the same time and their belongings kept getting misplaced in the other person's apartment. An acknowledgement made to the audience that their worlds have already crossed paths, not with them, but with their partners. It is never told how long their partners have been seeing each other, but from the conversations that Chow and Li-Zhen had, it must have been before they moved in as neighbours. Chow recognises the bag Li-Zhen has, which is the same as his wife, and Li-Zhen recognises the tie Chow wears, which is the same as her husband.
其實我先生都有條呔同你一模一樣嘅。佢話係佢事頭送俾佢嘅，所以日日都戴住喎。
我太太嘅有個手袋同你嗰個一模一樣。
In any other circumstances, we as the audience would cast the husband and wife away for dealing their partners with the pain of knowing they are being cheated on. It is an act that causes a lot of stress and can lead to divorce, breakups, and sometimes even worse outcomes. But as we already know with Wong Kar-wai, he understands that life isn't about heroes and villains or good and bad. Wong Kar-wai's world is about the in-between, the uncertainty and confusion of life. That's why our two main characters fall in love, and we look at that and support their love because we've seen it blossom. Yet we are disgusted by their partners. We never get to see them, we never get to see how they met or how they themselves started to fall in love with each other. Not showing us that makes the feeling towards them cold because they are faceless people, and when we can't see someone's face, we can't have strong positive emotions towards them because they are literal unknowns. But we see Chow and Li-Zhen. We see them get closer, and because of that the impact of their secret relationship is softened because we see how they act around each other and see the love in their eyes. If Wong Kar-wai showed us their husband and wife story, how they met and how they fell in love, then we may sympathise with them. But because this movie is viewed through the lens of Chow and Li-Zhen, we don't see the other side, and we can only experience their side of the story. A story about forbidden love. A love that is tragic because it's one where you imagine your whole life with them, but then no, you can't make that a reality. To be intimate with each other by only glancing across from the other side of the street. It's sad and beautiful because a love that is forbidden is one that has the strongest connection because you know it's wrong but can't deny the feelings you have. Which makes the pain of knowing you cannot show those emotions even more hurtful. This drives Chow to leave and go work in Singapore because staying where he is, seeing Li-Zhen, will only bring a wave of sadness. A sadness that he may never be able to love this woman, and maybe a sadness that he did love this woman. something that was not meant to happen.
我信我自己唔好似佢哋咁，原來會，
有冇諗過你真係會中意我？
我都冇諗過。嗰陣時係想知佢哋點開始，而家我知，原來好多嘢會不知不覺。
They were supposed to be better than their partners because they wouldn't fall for each other, but they did. They fell in love, and that love is what separates them in the end. A love that even years later, a quick glance at each other sparks the emotions and brings back the memory of a time when they became happy just to be in each other's presence. A love so strong, it was forbidden.